Shravan, it's very important to know that Enforcement Directorate, even we know that the matter is in a court, and Enforcement Directorate is continuing with this investigation because it's a money laundering case and the PMB scam, where ED has taken a new action over seizing his movable properties, assets, specifically gems and jewels, and also some bank deposit that is worth about 253 crore of company that has been owned by Neerav Modi, and this is the fresh action that has been taken by Enforcement Directorate. And as I mentioned earlier, that the case is before the British court, where several there was a mentioning during the hearing, and specifically Neerav Modi has been playing as a victim card, clearly stating the case is something and he could not be able to extradite in India just because of its health issue. But on the other hand, Indian government has also given an assurance, even if he gets surrendered or arrested, there will be full care taken by Indian government over his physical and mental issues. So we have to wait and what could be the further course of action and the hearing that will take place. But yes, there's a new action that has been taken by Enforcement Directorate, where his movable properties, his asset that has been seized, and also the bank deposit of worth rupees 253 crore is what we have been told.
Thank you very much, Alisha, for getting us the latest details. Moving on to the other top story on This Is Exclusive. This is the latest revelation in the events that followed Nupur Sharma's remarks. Republic has now accessed the details of a Pakistan terrorist named Rizwan, who was arrested last week by the Border Security Force in Rajasthan. The terrorist is reported to have links with the Pakistan outfit Tehreek-e-Taliban and planned to harm Nupur Sharma in India. Moreover, we have the pictures of an incriminating seizure that is made by him, which is a knife. It is also important to mention that Rizwan was taken in custody by the Pakistan police for vandalizing the statue of Maharaja Ranjit Singh, and he was lodged. This particular statue was destroyed in the Lahore fort. Some more reactions now coming in, and also, in fact, Republic TV was the first channel to get you the visuals of this Pakistani terrorist, and not just that, live visuals of the Pakistani terrorist who was questioned not by one, by multiple agencies.
जो एक नया तथ्य सामने आया वो ये है कि अगस्त 2021 में लाहौर फोर्ट में इसी व्यक्ति ने महाराजा रणजीत सिंह की एक प्रतिमा थी जिसको तोड़ दिया था, उस पर उसे गिरफ्तार किया गया वहां की पुलिस द्वारा। उसके खिलाफ मुकदमा दर्ज हुआ और वो जेल में रहा कई महीने। उसके बाद अभी उस केस में बेल पर चल रहा है।
तो फंडिंग भी हो रही है उसको किसी प्रकार की?
नहीं, फंडिंग जैसे अभी कोई तथ्य सामने नहीं है।
नहीं, वहाँ का जो पाकिस्तान जो तहरीक है वो
नहीं, उससे नहीं। इसको बेल आउट भी इसका कहना है इसके परिवार ने ही कराया था। तहरीक-ए-तालिब से तो ये इंस्पायर्ड है, ये उसका सदस्य, अभी इस बात के कोई प्रमाण नहीं है।
तो क्या इसको पता नहीं था कि फेंसिंग आ गई है सर?
अब उसका था, वो ये कहता है कि मतलब मुझे था, मैं कैसे तैसे पहुंच जाऊंगा और यदि मेरी किस्मत में होगा तो मैं अपने आप वहां पहुंच जाऊंगा, वो उस तरह से बात करता है।
क्योंकि शुरू से मैं यही था कि जो भी पाकिस्तान से आता था शॉट आउट कर दिया था, मतलब उसको इतना डर जी
नहीं, इसने सरेंडर कर दिया। वो तो एक्चुअली बीएसएफ का तो ये होता है, जो सरेंडर करता है उसको नहीं शूट करते हैं, तो उसने सरेंडर कर दिया। इसके पास कोई आर्म्स नहीं थे तो उन्होंने इसको एप्रीहेंड किया।
Now emerging the Pakistan link. We told you on the very first day when the arrest was actually made, sources within the agency essentially indicating that there is a clear Pakistani hand. Now Gangaragar SP speaking to Republic TV clarifying that yes, there is a Pakistan ISI link. Let's move to the other story that we are getting you on. This is exclusive. Kerala gold smuggling case continues to stir controversy, with blames being heaped over blames. Biryani vessels, date boxes, threats, and now a conspiracy. The key accused in the case, Swapna Suresh, has now alleged that the NI officials in Kerala are conspiring with the Chief Minister and his party to frame her in the case and work in the interests of the Chief Minister, Pinarayi Vijayan. We've learnt that Swapna, in her latest affidavit to the court, has mentioned that the cell phone gifted to her by the government official Shiva Shankar has been taken by the agency, but not mentioned it in the seizure list. It is pertinent to mention here that Suresh has clearly mentioned that the case is being handled by the NIS solely because of the Chief Minister's close officers are dealing with the case in order to manipulate it in Pinarayi Vijayan's favour. Getting us this exclusive is my colleague Ashwin. In fact, we've also accessed the affidavit which has been submitted by Swapna Suresh. Ashwin, if I can also bring you in right now, the damning allegations that have been made by Swapna Suresh, is there any response really coming in from the National Investigation Agency? Because it appears to be completely bizarre given the fact that in this particular case, all sides were being probed by the National Investigation Agency.
Oh, well, Shravan, the response of the National Investigation Agency, it's quite interesting because with less than 24 hours after the submission she has made in the court, today we have gotten information that the retired NIA investigating officer who was retired, who was earlier heading this entire gold smuggling probe, has been brought back to the NIA and he's been kept as a consultant again to investigate the gold smuggling case. This is the latest update that has come. So NIA has brought back a retired Kerala cadre investigating officer back to continue the investigation in the Kerala gold smuggling. That's the latest update, Shravan. But you know what adds more credence to the statements made by Swapna Suresh is that it is true that 3 of the main NIA officials who were probing, they were all from Kerala cadre. That is true. In fact, we don't want to take their names over here, but that is one truth. And also, Swapna Suresh has alleged that, in fact, a grave allegation which she says, the phone which was seized by the NIA when she was arrested on July 11th from Bangalore, that particular phone was an iPhone in which she states has got several incriminating evidences of her links with Chief Minister, the conversation with Chief Minister. And that particular phone, after the NIA seized it, she alleges that this has not been produced as in the Mazhar report. Basically, she says that this phone has gone off record, and she has also blamed that the NIA has been trying to cover it up because that particular phone contains crucial evidence that links the conversation a Chief Minister of Kerala has had with Swapna Suresh. Now, we tried to find from our sources also, Shravan, about this, and the NIA sources are saying that is definitely not true, but we are still awaiting more details.
Thank you very much, Ashwin, for getting us the latest details. Damning charges levelled by Swapna Suresh. No official comment really coming in from the National Investigation Agency. We'll be tracking the story very closely. Shifting focus now to the big exclusive coming in. On 20th of July, in a major breakthrough in the Siddhu Musewala assassination case, Punjab police had carried out an encounter operation at Atari border in Amritsar. After receiving a tip-off about the accused being there, after hours-long operation, it was a big win for the forces as they gunned down 2 key accused, the assailants of singer turned politician Siddhu Musewala. While we gave you minute-to-minute details of the encounter, here is what the Punjab ADG police had to say about the big success.
Like to congratulate from the side of the public for this successful encounter with no loss of life from the police side.
Thank you so much. So first of all, I will like to call it a proper police action as a follow-up of this particular case, as also it being our duty, moral duty and also a professional duty to the state, to the people of Punjab, to ensure sense of security, to ensure peace, and also to show, as per the instructions of the Honorable Chief Minister of Punjab, as per the instructions, to follow up the proper strategic approach with a total focus to eliminate this problem.
So there are so many characters in this Siddhu Musewala case. Let's talk about the investigation part of this. I mean, why these two has opposed the arrest? Why? I mean, is there any further plans? Is there any thing in the investigation? क्या इनका कुछ आगे जाने का plan था? That's why they are avoiding the arrest. क्योंकि बहुत सारे लोग arrest हुए हैं, उन्होंने आराम से arrest दे दिए. Nobody oppose and retaliate.
इसके बारे में उनकी क्या साइकोलॉजी थी, तो इसके बारे आई एम रियली नॉट इन अ पोजीशन टू कमेंट ऑन दिस, बट श्योरली जिस तरह से वो आर्म्ड सीगे, तो जो इनका पास्ट ट्रैक रिकॉर्ड है, मनु खुसा तो वो स्पेशली इन्वॉल्व इन मेनी मर्डर्स. ही वाज वांटेड इन पेंटा मर्डर केस ऑफ मोगा आल्सो एंड अदर मर्डर्स आल्सो. पर ਜਿਹੜੀ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ जो इन बंदों की साइकोलॉजी थी कि सरेंडर करने के अपील के बावजूद इन्होंने रिटेलिएट किया, पुलिस पार्टी ने फायर किया, और not only fire किया था, they continued to fire. They continued to fire despite intermittent appeal to them to surrender. It shows up to their criminal psychology. This is what all I can say.
Sir, a huge amount of ammunition has also been recovered. काफ़ी असला बरामद हुआ जो उन्होंने 5 घंटे तक अपना रिटेलिएशन सस्टेन किया, वो फायर सस्टेन किया. कितना एमिनेशन रिकवर हुआ है, क्या उसकी अभी तक क्वांटिटी कोई बाहर आ पाई, कितने वेपन्स थे?
3 वेपन्स बरामद हुए हैं. एक AK-47 राइफल है, एक ग्लॉक 9mm पिस्टल है, एक टॉरस US मेड पिस्टल है .45, और जो एमिनेशन है वो काफ़ी था उनके पास. और अगर आप देखेंगे तो ये बिकॉज जिस बिल्डिंग में वो होल्ड अप थे तो दे वर प्रोटेक्टेड. पुलिस पार्टी वाज इन द ओपन विद नो प्रोटेक्शन. सो एंड वी हैड टू इंश्योर, सो ये भी इंश्योर करना सीखा कि कोई सिविलियन लॉस ना होवे, कोई पुलिस पार्टी का लॉस ना होवे. तो इस करके टुक अ लिटिल टाइम, बट अल्टीमेटली द एम वाज अचीव्ड.
So, next question is that how the police nailed them down? I mean, police is chasing them. क्या उनका पीछा कर रही थी या फिर पुलिस को ये जानकारी मिली कि they were camping there? कैसे ये सारा ऑपरेशन कैरी आउट अनफोल्ड हुआ?
पुलिस पार्टियाँ इन दोनों के पीछे काफ़ी दिनों से लगी हुई थी. हमारे पास काफ़ी इनपुट्स भी आ रहे थे, एंड वी वर एक्चुअली आफ्टर देम एंड दे वर जस्ट अहेड ऑफ अस बिकॉज ये अपनी ठिकाना बदल लेते थे. पर इस पर्टिकुलर केस में हमारे पास इंफॉर्मेशन थी इनका उस स्पेसिफिक एरिया में मूवमेंट का. हमारी पार्टियां वहाँ मौजूद थी. दे वर साइटेड, आइडेंटिफाइड. जब इन्होंने फॉलो किया गया, दे वेंट टू दिस बिल्डिंग.
Joining us on this broadcast is my colleague Amandeep, who's got us the latest exclusive. You've spoken to the Punjab police. A short while back we saw latest visuals coming in from the encounter site. Is it very clear that perhaps the 2 accused who were gunned down, were they actually planning to run away and perhaps cross over? Was that part of their plan?
Well, absolutely, Shavan. This was the high possibility, and in fact, this has been established in the police investigation as well. Just because when they retaliate the fire, that was a clear-cut indication that they have some further plans, and that is the reason they are not surrender themselves to police, despite knowing that they have been trapped in an isolated place where they have no way to go out. And even they were being located and tracked nearby the international border areas from past many days. Just because initially they were tracked in Moga, Firozpur, Tarantar, and 2 days before they have gone down in Amritsar, just 8 to 9 kilometers from the international border of Pakistan. And in fact, Shavan, the most important point is that they were in touch with the Harvinder Singh Rinda, who was presently residing in Pakistan and driven by ISI. And in fact, he was the one who was actually running certain kind of activities, pro-Khalistani activities in Punjab as well. So these are all the primary angles of the investigation in which the police is investigating. And another most important aspect of this entire encounter is from where they have got the weapons. The primary angle of these weapon smuggling is that the high possibility is that these weapons has been dropped through drones from Pakistan, AK-47 and other arms and ammunitions. And in fact, that is the reason all the people who have been arrested in this entire case, most of them basically belongs and the natives are of the villages which are actually on the international border. Just because it is very easy to pick up the consignment of the weapons that has been dropped by the drones from the border located villages. And in fact, further it has been smuggled to the shooters to carry out and to eliminate Siddhu Musewala in a very brutal murder. So these are all the part of investigation. And even Shavan, the high possibility that this AK-47 that has been recovered by the police after this encounter, the same AK-47 was used to kill Siddhu Musewala. In fact, the shells of that weapon has also been recovered by forensic team, and it was sent for the further reports to match the shells that was recovered from the site of the Siddhu Musewala killing site. And even Shavan, further they are also investigating what are the other angles in this entire killing.
Thank you very much, Amandeep, for getting us. This is exclusive. Har Ghar Tiranga, now a national chorus as India prepares to mark 75 years of independence. Himanta Biswa Sharma speaks to Republic in an exclusive interview on the same. A short excerpt from that interview after the break.
Prime Minister Modi's appeal on Har Ghar Tiranga.
तिरंगे की जंग कैसे, जिस तिरंगे को उन्होंने खुद नहीं अपनाया एक स्टेज के ऊपर, वो आज तिरंगे का बड़ा ये कर रहे हैं, ये सब ड्रामा कर रहे हैं.
Watch the biggest story tonight at 7 p.m.
Republic News Network is the only network to get you an aerial view.
सोनिया गांधी से ईडी पूछताछ नहीं कर सकती. इसको रोको यार, तुम हमें रखते हो इधर से. ये क्या मतलब है?
Chandigarh police has applied the water cannon to disperse the protesters.
Reading allows us to become familiar with ourselves.
We don't read, we won't know what is knowledge.
I just find it very interesting to know people's lives, how they went through certain situations, how they dealt with things.
So wherever you want to go in life, if you read books along those lines, then that would really help you in growing.
Reading could mean a million different things to every individual. What does it mean to you? Visit readindia.info to find out more.
Getting a cab these days is nearly impossible because half the time you don't get rides. Even if your cab gets booked, you're not sure when it is going to get cancelled or how much you're going to pay. Now, answering all this, Mind has come up with beautiful solutions whereby we don't have a surge rate here because they go by government prescribed rates. Not just that, Mind has a beautiful feature where you incentivize the driver, ensuring that he will come and pick you up on time. So, thanks Mind.
Republic News Network is the only network to get you an aerial view.
सोनिया गांधी से ईडी पूछताछ नहीं कर सकती. इसको रोको यार, तुम हमें रखते हो इधर से. ये क्या मतलब है?
Chandigarh police has applied the water cannon to disperse the protesters.
And here's a look at some more news in brief this morning. India and the United Kingdom have signed an agreement to recognize each other's higher education qualifications in a move that is in sync with the 10-year roadmap to significantly expand overall bilateral ties. The announcement about the pact, which is set to benefit thousands of young people in both countries, was made by the British government on Thursday. Odisha sand artist Sudarshan Patnaik has created a sand sculpture congratulating the President-elect Draupadi Murmu at Puri Beach in Odisha. Wishes poured in from the political fraternity across party lines on the victory of Murmu, who will be India's first tribal president. Now, leader of the Congress party in the Lok Sabha, Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary, has hit out at the BJP following Sonia Gandhi's ED questioning, saying that the BJP wished to tarnish the image of the Gandhi family and the Congress party. The Congress leader said that the party has no issue with ED questioning Sonia Gandhi. The protest is against the intention of the questioning.
Heavy rainfalls are expected in Mumbai for the next 4 days.
A lot of people over here with tricolors commemorating the victory of Draupadi Murmu.
And here's a look at some news in brief now. Draupadi Murmu created history by becoming the 15th President of India. Her victory is significant as Murmu has become India's first tribal and second woman President of the country. Now, the NDA's presidential candidate Draupadi Murmu won the presidential elections, beating opposition candidate Yashwant Sinha. The 23rd batch of Amarnath Yatra, which was scheduled today, stands cancelled now. This comes after inclement weather conditions in the area, several districts of Jammu and Kashmir.
Wherever you are, whenever you want, Republic Livestream with you everywhere. Republic Livestream, India's #1 streaming news.
Amity University has been ranked number 22 amongst over 1,000 government and private universities in India by NIRF, Ministry of Education, Government of India. A testimony to Amity's excellence in education, research and innovation.
ನಾನು ಒಂದು ಅಗ್ರಿಕಲ್ಚರ್ ಲೈಸೆನ್ಸಲ್ಲಿ ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡ್ತಾಯಿದ್ದೆ. ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ನಾನು ಸಂಪಾದನೆ ಮಾಡಿದಂಥ ಹಣ ಡೈಲಿ 25ರಿಂದ 30% ಹಣ ಕಮಿಷನ್ ಹೋಗ್ತಾಯಿತ್ತು. ನಮ್ಮ ಮನೆಗೆ ಏನು ಸಹ ತೊಗೊಂಡೋಗ್ತಾ ಇರಲಿಲ್ಲ. ಅದೇ ಒಂದು ಮೈನ್ ಕಂಪ್ನಿಗೆ ಜಾಯ್ನ್ ಆಗಿದ್ದೀನಿ. ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ 0 ಕಮಿಷನ್ ಇದೆ. ಅದರಿಂದ ಸಂಪೂರ್ಣ ನಾನು ದುಡ್ದಂಥ ಸಂಪೂರ್ಣ ಹಣವನ್ನು ನನ್ನ ಮನೆಗೆ ಸಹ ತೊಗೊಂಡೋಗ್ತಾಯಿದ್ದೀನಿ. ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಏನಪ್ಪ ಬೆನಿಫಿಟ್ಟು ಅಂತ ಅಂದರೆ 5 ಲಕ್ಷ ಡ್ರೈವರ್ಗೆ ಹೆಲ್ತ್ ಇನ್ಸೂರೆನ್ಸ್ ಕೊಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ ತಿಂಗಳಿಗೆ 2,999 ರೂಪಾಯಿ ರೀಚಾರ್ಜ್ ಇದೆ. ಇಲ್ಲ ಒನ್ ಡೇಗೆ 149 ರೂಪೀಸ್ ರೀಚಾರ್ಜ್ ಇದೆ. ನಾನು ಎಷ್ಟು ದುಡಿತೀನೋ ಅಷ್ಟು ಸಂಪೂರ್ಣ ಹಣ ನನ್ನ ಮನೆಗೆ ತೊಗೊಂಡೋಗ್ತೀನಿ. ಇದರಿಂದ ನನ್ನ ಫ್ಯಾಮಿಲಿ ಸಹ ನನ್ನ ಕುಟುಂಬ ಸಹ ತುಂಬ ಖುಷಿಯಾಗಿದೆ.
Wherever you are, whenever you want. Republic Livestream. With you everywhere. Republic Livestream. India's #1 streaming news.
Olympic champion Neerav Chopra has qualified for his maiden World Championships final that's taking place in Oregon in the United States of America. Now Chopra opened the men's javelin throw Group A qualification round and sent his spear to 88.39 meters for his third career best throw. A forest fire broke out in the Kandi forest area in West Bengal's Murshidabad district. Now, there have been no casualties reported and the fire tenders were immediately rushed to the spot. Further details and probe into the forest fire is awaited. The Union Ministry of Civil Aviation has announced that airlines cannot charge an extra fee for issuing boarding passes at check-in counters. Now, the ministry has also added that the additional amount cannot be considered within the tariff as provided under Rule 135 of the Aircraft Rules of 1937.
Wherever you are, whenever you want. Republic Live Stream with you everywhere. Republic Live Stream, India's #1 streaming news.
The Union Ministry of Civil Aviation has announced that aircraft carriers are not supposed to charge any extra fee for issuing boarding pass at check-in counters at the airports. The ministry claimed that airlines have been charging extra amount for boarding passes at the counters, which is wrong. The ministry also claimed that airlines charging the extra fee are not in accordance with the law. Meanwhile, the DGCA issued directives to tighten and improve its safety monitoring of aircrafts. Many airlines and its aircrafts were subjected to emergency landing and faulty parts last month. Earlier this month, a SpiceJet flight from Delhi to Dubai had to land in Karachi due to a technical snag with over 150 people aboard. The event, however, grabbed the attention of aviation regulator DGCA, which launched an investigation. Bureau Report, Republic TV.
Wherever you are, whenever you want, Republic Livestream with you everywhere. Republic Livestream, India's #1 streaming news.
The Amarnath Yatra has been halted again. 23rd batch of the Yatra has been suspended and pilgrims have been asked to halt. This comes after Met Department predicted inclement weather in the valley due to ongoing monsoon. The decision has been taken keeping in mind the safety of the pilgrims. The Amarnath Yatra began on June 30th this year. More than 65,000 pilgrims have already visited the shrine amid the tough weather condition. In the past few weeks, 16 deaths have been reported in the worst ever cloudburst that
Wherever you are, whenever you want. Republic Livestream. With you everywhere. Republic Livestream. India's #1 streaming news.
Hello, welcome, good evening. This is 6:30 p.m. evening live and breaking. The Delhi LG and Delhi CM fight, the Har Ghar Tiranga controversy and the issue of cross voting, which still continues. All this and more in this 6:30 p.m. live and breaking. And here are the headlines. Har Ghar Tiranga now a national chorus as India prepares to mark 75 years of independence. But some in the opposition are questioning the Tiranga call. NC and the Congress ask why force the Tiranga. Big development in Patna terror crackdown. Accused Tahir's confession reveals the Pakistan ISI link. Himanta Biswa Sarma speaks to Republic, says there's a massive revolt against the Vadras in Assam now. Delhi LG recommends probe into Delhi excise policy. Kejriwal claims Sisodia will be arrested in a fake case. And opposition rift wide open now after TMC decides to abstain from VP elections. Alwa hits out at the Trinamool. Welcome viewers, we know that news does not wait. We know that news is always live and breaking. And we know that you hate missing out on the news. Don't be denied live news anymore. No more fear of missing out. You can watch the news anytime, anywhere and on any device. All you have to do is open your browser, Google Republic, live stream and tap to watch the news. We are available on most OTT platforms, and if your platform of choice does not have Republic live stream, you can ask them to reach out to us and we will make it available. Alright, a breaking news development coming in now from New in Haryana. A truck and three-wheeler collided near Madhyaki village on Nagina Punhana Road in New. Information is being received about the death of 8 people. All the passengers who died have been brought to Al Afia General Hospital, Mandikheda for post-mortem. Police is investigating the case. The death toll may increase. But of unfortunate development there this evening coming in from New in Haryana, where a collision between a truck and a three-wheeler has led to the death of 8, and this even as more casualties are feared. Let's go to Amandeep, who's live with us from Chandigarh, to tell us the details about the Haryana accident. Amandeep, what circumstances led to this accident? Error of judgment, or was there some issue with the road where this accident happened? Please give us update on what is the situation now.
Well, Abhishek, preliminary investigation of the police reveals that due to overspeeding, this accident happened. And in fact, this is head-on collision between a truck and a three-wheeler, resulting in the death of 8 people on the spot. And Abhishek, the impact was so severe that the head-on collision, after that head-on collision, police used crane to separate both the vehicles on the spot. They were so much into each other, and that is the reason. Initially, overspeeding turned out to be the reason of this entire accident, and in fact, it is very much expected that death toll may climb to more, and even the injured people have been shifted to the nearby hospital for the treatment. And even the visuals are very much telling that how the accident, how severe it was, just because a three-wheeler carrying the passengers and a truck having head-on collision, and that was so impactful, resulting to the death of 8 people on the spot, and certain serious injured also, and even both the vehicles were separated with the help of cranes. Yes.
Right, Amandeep. Thank you so much for joining us, giving us updates on the accident that has taken place in New in Haryana. And viewers, now an important issue connected with the civil aviation and the boarding passes, the fees for which was being charged if you took those boarding passes at the counter. Here is a 1-minute report.
The Union Ministry of Civil Aviation has announced that aircraft carriers are not supposed to charge any extra fee for issuing boarding pass at check-in counters at the airports. The ministry claimed that airlines have been charging extra amount for boarding passes at the counters, which is wrong. The ministry also claimed that airlines charging the extra fee are not in accordance with the law. Meanwhile, the DGCA issued directives to tighten and improve its safety monitoring of aircrafts. Many airlines and its aircrafts were subjected to emergency landing and faulty parts last month. Earlier this month, a SpiceJet flight from Delhi to Dubai had to land in Karachi due to a technical snag with over 150 people aboard. The event, however, grabbed the attention of aviation regulator DGCA, which launched an investigation. Bureau Report, Republic TV.
Alright, breaking news development coming in this time from Jammu and Kashmir's Doda district. And a terror hideout has been busted by security forces. A huge cache of arms and ammunition has also been recovered, including under-barrel grenade launchers, the UBGLs, and RPG shells as well. Let's go to Gursimran, who's reporting live from Jammu on this development. Gursimran, please tell us in what circumstances this terror hideout was found out. Was there some casso going on as it happens? And give us more details about if there have been some arrests. Gursimran.
See, Abhishek, based on a specific intelligence input, Jammu and Kashmir Police in Doda, along with the 4 Astra Rifles, launched a massive coordinated search operation in the area. This area falls in the Gando forest, and this area mostly remains abandoned. This is in the higher ups of the Doda district. And during the searches that were launched by the Indian Army and Jammu and Kashmir Police, the recovery of this hideout took place. They have recovered UBGL shell, RPG shell, UBGL grenades, as well as 25 electronic detonators and other accessories of the UBGL. And this area has a history of being prone to the terrorism. Earlier, there used to be the terror hideouts at this place only, and once again, the recovery has been made from this area. Now, the police has registered an FIR, and investigation has started to find out who were the person behind this terror hideout and what was the modus operandi of an hideout there. Because we have seen that in the recent past, there have been arrests from the Doda district, especially by the Mumbai ATS, that relates to the connection with the jihadi literature that is being spread from the Doda district, and that was a Lashkar-e-Toiba module. So several arrests made by the Maharashtra ATS and then followed by several hideouts that have been busted by the Jammu police. The forces were on the alert, and during an input that was generated and the casso that followed, the recovery has been made from the Gando forest area.
Right. Thank you so much, Gursimran. A big success there for security forces with the terror hideout with huge cache of arms and ammunitions getting busted. Moving on, a national wrap of stories from around the country. The Enforcement Directorate has ordered a 14-day judicial custody to former CEO and MD of National Stock Exchange Chitra Ramakrishnan. That's ED given the custody of Chitra Ramakrishnan in connection with the money laundering case related to the phone tapping of NSE's employees. She was earlier produced before the Rouse Avenue Court by the ED after the expiry of her custodial remand. Prime Minister Narendra Modi appealed to people to strengthen the Har Ghar Tiranga movement by hoisting or displaying the national flag in their homes between August 13th and 15th. In a series of tweets, he said this movement will deepen a connect with the tricolour and noted that it was on July 22nd in 1947 that the national flag was adopted. The opposition, meanwhile, engaged in a series of jibes against the campaign, with leaders such as that of the Congress and the National Conference criticizing the centre for the move. Provisional Secretary of the National Conference, Sheikh Bashir, was seen calling the whole campaign a drama and a way of avoiding the work they had done. Reports of cross-voting across the country came during the election process for the president. Incidences of cross-voting were especially reported from Assam, Madhya Pradesh and Jharkhand, with their major tribal population being possible reason. Amid several reports of cross-voting at the presidential polls across the country, with Assam having reported cross-voting by at least 22 MLAs from the Congress and AIUDF, Assam's Chief Minister Himanta Biswa Sarma spoke to Republic on the matter, calling it a vote of conscience, seeing as Assam was a tribal-dominated state.
कि हमको 104 वोटें मिले तो 79 से 104 so we got 25 extra vote 3 वोट तो एक पॉलिटिकल पार्टीज का है वो दूंगा पहले ही बोल के रखा था तो 22 वोट हम लोग को एक्स्ट्रा मिले.
The Trinamool Congress, claiming that they had not been consulted for the vice presidential poll, stated that they would not be voting in the polls. thereby effectively withdrawing their support for the opposition's vice presidential nominee Margaret Alva, or the NDA's Jagdeep Dhankar for that matter. Delhi Lieutenant Governor V.K. Saxena has recommended for a CBI investigation of Arvind Kejriwal's government after a report by the Chief Secretary showed prima facie violations of the Delhi excise rules in addition to the procedural lapses to provide post-tender